Do I come in with a whole entourage? Okay. My baby plays this game day. I was supposed to be in Miami with him. Thank you, J. Has.
Got the spot for the party.
The party ain't till the 25th.
I said I cut the spot.
Oh. Oh, you advertising it? Oh, you don't have to. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Amped Up. I am your host, Erica Denise, and I am so excited to be back in the building once more and again. I'm excited because the sun is shining. Yes. And when I got up this morning, I could hear some birds chirping and stuff. So it just feels like spring is on the horizon. So I'm really excited about that. I'm always excited about a new season because you can just kind of put away the old and think about what you want to do that's different than what you've been doing. That's for me. How y'all feel about that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Listen, I'm amped up too because Amped, the Russell Business Tech Incubator, they have hold on, I'm trying to pull up my notes. I'm so sorry, y'all. They've started their third incubator cohort. Are you in that one?
No.
You're not in that one. Okay, they've started their third incubator cohort, and there's so many of my friends that have participated in that cohort. We have Jamila Young. Her business is being featured in this cohort. And hold on, y'all. I'm stalling because I don't have this pulled up, and this is so unprofessional on the radio. Anyway, say something. Jay Has, your birthday party is next week, right?
Yes,
the 25th. And you did a drop for it already?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yes. Okay. So in honor of the Russell Tech Business Incubator, we're featuring some entrepreneurs who have forged their paths to success in West Louisville. And so we've partnered with LIBA, the Louisville Independent Business Alliance. And so that book comes out annually, and it's a whole book of just all the businesses that are in Louisville. Yeah. So it's a great resource. And so if you want to get that book, they can send it out to you. You can send them an email, or you can pick them up in different places around the city. So it's a huge resource. I've had my business featured in there and have had people actually call and solicit my business from that. So that's a great opportunity. Let's see. All right. So anyway, we have an exciting show lined up today. Listen, this ain't like me, is it, Jay Has? I'm thrown off a little bit. Okay. What's going on?
It was the birds chirping.
It was the birds chirping, yes. And then Tanya then brought in some bourbon, and I think
it was the bourbon.
I didn't start thinking about bourbon. I didn't start thinking about what I'm gonna do when I leave here. And it's gonna be 5 o'clock somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
It's Kentucky. You don't have to wait till 5 o'clock.
You don't have to wait till 5 o'clock. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. I love it. So we have a great show lined up for you today. We have Tanya Trainer. Toya. Why I'm calling you Tanya?
Everybody does it. It's okay.
Toya Trainer, who is the owner of Truth Tax and Accounting, LLC. You graduated in 2003 with a BA in accounting from Sullivan University, and you spent the last 15 years in the accounting field, with the previous 10 years focused on tax and payroll. How did you get into the tax business?
Well, I had three boys when I graduated from college. So I had 3 boys sitting in my accounting class in the background while I was going to school by myself, and just happened to fall into a role with a local business in Bardstown, where I'm from, doing taxes. And, when you have young kids, you just want a steady paycheck and do that. But now that they are grown men and they're all out on their own, doing their own thing, I said it's time for me to step out on faith and do my own thing.
Right. So that's good. So you done stepped out and now you own this business full time. You are a full-time entrepreneur, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you left corporate America
Yes.
to start this?
Put that notice in, scared to death, but
Listen.
it's been amazing since then.
It has been amazing since then. So we want to know about your business, but we want to also have the listeners understand your journey into entrepreneurship because it's not easy. A lot of people think that it's easy to just be out here on your own. So what has that process been like?
Well, I was actually working for Young Brands
Mhm.
in their payroll department, and then I was doing the business on the side, like for the last 2 years.
Mhm.
And it was hard, because I had to do my full-time job during the day, and then in tax season, I'm working till probably midnight every
Mhm.
night at home doing the taxes. But it got to a point where I had to realize I'm not giving either 100%
Yeah.
of me, and I was starting to feel burnt out.
Right.
So I said I have to make a decision, and I would rather put that 100% into myself instead of someone else.
Absolutely.
So I decided to step on out there. I had built up my customer base enough that I knew I would be okay.
Mhm.
But every day it's been growing and meeting
Good.
new people. And
So
it's
you were
great.
able to crunch those numbers and say, okay, I have this many clients. This would be enough to satisfy me or to help me make the money that I need to make to survive.
Yes, I knew
Right.
I was already making my salary pretty much as it was.
Mhm.
So I knew I could do that. And then obviously in tax season, that's our biggest time frame. I knew I could, if I had 100% of my time instead of 50% of my time,
Exactly.
I could double what I was already doing.
Come
So
on. I love it. So what have been some of the struggles as a full-time entrepreneur that you've come up against?
just getting back to budgeting. I tell my clients to do that, but I don't know if I was necessarily, because you got used to having 2 streams of income.
Mhm.
And so now I don't. So now I'm packing my lunch.
Right. Listen,
and doing things.
no more throwing in the bag.
Just to make sure that I'm, putting myself in a position to where this can last,
Mhm.
So I'm just having to scale back. And then I was able to pace myself. I got my office in October, but I didn't quit my job until January.
Mhm.
So I could take my time, buy a little bit here, do what I need to do to get the office up and running. So
Okay. So you own Truth Tax and Accounting. Walk us through what you do. What's your day look like?
Well, right now it's mostly taxes.
Mhm.
So I do partnerships, S corps, personal income taxes. But the way that I'm trying to gear my business is very knowledge based and flexible for the client. So you can go on my website, you can literally upload your documents, I can get them, and then I can prepare your tax returns, and then I can send everything to you electronically, kind of like TurboTax, for you to sign it off.
Mhm.
Or we could do a virtual where I share my screen, or you can actually come in. So it's really kind of flexible to what everybody's needs are.
Mhm. So I've been doing my taxes on TurboTax for 10 years. And so I'm getting a little scared now.
But
Like, how long am I going to be able to do this on my own? Because listen, I'm probably getting way too much back. I hope the IRS ain't listening. I hope they're not listening. But like, how long? I'm not saying I'm lying on it a lot.
You said a lot.
I just,
I don't hear any of this.
listen, you
I'm just
don't.
playing.
Listen. So how can I would you be able to fix my situation if I come to you? Because I know I've been doing it wrong.
Yes,
for 10
yes.
years.
And actually, I do a free look back. So, if you want me to just check over someone else's work or your work,
Mhm.
and then obviously there wouldn't be a fee unless I need to change some things that maybe you
Oh my
did
God.
not do correctly, or we just fix going forward,
I
depending
gotta
on
give
what
the
it
money
is.
back.
If
Oh!
if we find out that there's something. But again, a lot of times, mostly it's people not taking enough deductions that they really could because they weren't aware they could write this off or do this. So usually it's actually the other way around. Sometimes we find things that people didn't know that they could do. And to be
Right.
honest, you could do TurboTax if you're just a basic, simple person.
Mhm.
But if you're self-employed or things
I
like
am.
that, I'd probably suggest having somebody look at it.
Okay, girl, because listen, I have a whole business, right? And I didn't start doing my taxes right until last year. But now I'm thinking, I'm kind of scared that it's going to come back. I'm going to get audited. Then I'm going to have thousands of dollars on my own. So what really trips me up is the Schedule C.
Yes.
So explain that.
That is, that's if you're a single member LLC or sole proprietorship, that goes on your personal income tax return. Basically, you just put your income and then all of your expenses.
Mhm.
I actually have a couple little webinars on my
Mhm.
site that kind of explain things that you can write off and can't write off. But I would just make sure that you're, checking with somebody and getting all the deductions, number one, that you need to get, and then also not doing anything that's going to land you or
In jail.
in jail.
Or I.
But again, we want to I don't want you to pay more taxes than you need to pay, but I also don't want us to do anything that would pop out to the IRS as a red flag. And so like one of the big things that people do sometimes that is a big red flag is like, if you claim a humongous loss on your business, but then you don't have a W-2 job, or your W-2 job, you're only making $25,000 and you took a $75,000 loss. Well, they're looking at, where did that difference come from?
Yeah, that's my situation.
Yeah.
So how am I going to fix that?
You're going to come see me next week or call me or text me or upload your stuff, whatever works for you.
And I write off everything. I write off my LG&E.
That's okay if you have a home office. That's completely fine. We just want to make sure we're doing it for only the square foot that is the home office, not the whole
house. Oh my God, girl, I done told them 2,000 square feet.
It's okay. We can fix it.
What am I going to do?
Okay, but stop talking. And then let me help you privately. Because the more you talk.
What am I going to do?
I got so many questions for that.
It's not funny, y'all. It's not. So I'm going to need some money, y'all. If y'all can bail me out.
I read
If y'all
somewhere Black
listening.
and brown folks get audited the most. Like
They
the
do.
rate of auditing.
Yes. But again, I don't think it's as bad as you think it is.
Okay.
I think that it's
hope
fixable,
not.
and especially going forward. I don't
But I
necessarily
should
know that there's
separate-
anything that you need to do going backwards. I'd have to see it to say that 100%, but I think just going forward, understanding what the rules are, what you can do, what you can't, and that's where the knowledge piece comes in.
Right.
Like some of my clients want me to do everything from bookkeeping, payroll, everything. Others, they just want me to kind of show them and explain things, and then they think they can handle that, and then they just come see me at tax time. So it's really about whatever works.
So are you a CPA too?
That's next.
Okay.
So I have enough credit hours to sit. I have enough, like 5 more classes. I have a master's degree. But again, I was raising kids and all that. So that's the next step is to sit for the CPA exam.
Okay. So one more question about my personal taxes.
Okay.
So should I separate filing my taxes with my personal taxes, my business taxes with my personal taxes? Does that make sense?
Not the way that you're currently set up. But again, that's another knowledge thing that we can sit down and talk about deciding whether your business should stay a Schedule C or the advantages to bumping up to maybe be an S Corp. And in that case, the business would file its own tax return first, which is due March 15th. Then you'd file your personal taxes.
Okay.
And there are some tax advantages both ways. But if you're going to go the S Corp route, you have to be very diligent of keeping business and personal separate. And a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
So I like to have my clients get on like a plan of being disciplined that way for a couple years before we take that next step up. But there's advantages both ways. So we can talk about that.
All right, girl. I'm coming to see you next week, honey.
Okay.
So
Right.
Bring bourbon because I have a feeling this is
Listen.
going to be a conversation.
oh my God, I just don't want to go to jail. I'm like, I've been getting by for 10 years.
Stop
I
talking.
know. Wait a minute. It's not that I'm lying. I'm not lying on there. I just,
I know, but
Okay, I'm gonna stop
Enhancing the
talking.
truth. But also, if you don't know, like
I
the
don't know.
taxes in this country are set up in
yeah,
a way
but
where,
unfortunately,
you
that
know,
is not a good enough excuse with the IRS. They don't take lack of knowledge as
No, but actually what is really helpful for me though is being in the Russell Business Tech Incubator program. We did have access to an accountant who did help get my business straightened out because there was some taxes that I was supposed to be paying that I didn't even know.
a lot of people.
The Secretary of State,
Yes.
and it was like thousands of dollars.
No, every time I set up a business, that's my first thing I say. The 2 things you got to do every year is your $15 annual report online with
Yeah.
Secretary of State.
Mhm.
It's in June. And then your LLET. A lot of people don't know that if you have an
Oh my
LLC
God,
in
I
the
ain't
state
never
of
heard of that.
Kentucky, you're supposed to file $175 every year to Kentucky, whether you make money, lose money, whatever.
Girl, what?
So a lot of people don't know
my
about
God,
that either.
175 times 10. How much am I gonna owe? Do I gotta go back?
We have to see.
Oh my God.
We have to look at your business though and see. Maybe you didn't have it set up that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some help because this year I made the most money in my business than I ever have too.
Okay.
Yes.
Glory, come on here.
But that means you had the most expenses as well.
I did. Come on. So I could write them off. Ow, I love it. Okay, so before you get out of here, what do you want the people to know about you and what you can offer?
That they just need, if you want someone who gives that, down to earth feel, that connection. A lot of people feel like they get with their accountant and they get so big that sometimes they lose that one-on-one touch. So you're going to get that with me, as well as the knowledge, the information that you need, and the flexibility. So
I love it. Y'all, she brought me some Woodford Reserve too up in here. And
I'm from Barksdale.
Listen, I love it. It's my favorite. Everybody that knows that I am a Woodford girl. So thank you so much for being
welcome.
here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Don't go nowhere because we're going to play rapid fire before we leave. Okay. Next up, I'm so excited about these two young women that are here today from Actors Theater of Louisville. And you know what? You all are my first interviews from Actors Theater of Louisville.
No,
I have not had
really?
anybody. I have not had anybody here from Actors Theater yet. So y'all are the first ones. And you are here because I'm going to tell you your names in a second. But we have the two actors from La Egoísta. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Al, which means the selfish one. And it is directed by Amelia Costa Powell. And it's a world premiere production. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Josefina is a rising stand-up comic and irreverent. Is that how you say that word? Okay, come on here. An irreverent spirit who takes nothing seriously. See, I don't take anything seriously. Okay. Her religious younger sister, Bethsaida, on the other hand, takes everything seriously. And when illness upends Bethsaida's life and Josefina becomes her caregiver, they're thrown together to rediscover all the history and humor, friction, and affection that still fuels their relationship. La Egoísta explores the bond between sisters, the cost of caregiving, and the hilariously fine line between selfish and selfless. This world premiere is happening in Actors Theater of Louisville in our Bingham Theater, February the 8th through the 19th. So yesterday was opening night.
Yes, it was.
Yes. And La Egoísta is also the winner of the 2022 National Latin Playwrights Award. So that's really exciting. We're so excited to have you all here in our city. So we have Guadalupe.
Yes.
Del Carmen.
Yes.
Come on here. And Kimberly Gomez.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to our city. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you all here. So tell us about La Egoísta and what it has been to be actors in this show. And I got to see it. Let me just say, I got to get a sneak preview. And when I tell you, okay, first of all, let me just disclaimer, okay? The show is has some raunchy language, but it's not raunchy for raunchy's sake. Right. You know what I mean? So if you go see it, just be prepared. You're going to hear some language that is probably R-rated. But go ahead. Tell us about the show. Guadalupe or Kimberly, whichever one.
I'm actually going to let you go because you've been on this journey with this play longer than I have.
Just a little bit. So I got the distinct pleasure of going to Colorado back in June of last year to do a reading of this play at the comedy festival with LTC, which is
Latinx Theater Commons.
Latinx Theater Commons. And so I got to read for Josefina for the first time then. And she was just this bombastic, unapologetic, young Latin millennial woman, just, trying to make life happen as a bicultural child. She's a Dominican character. She was raised in the States. And I think the beauty of the play that Edlina Ortiz wrote, who's our playwright, is that it navigates all these very complex concepts that don't have a right definition. And Bethsaida has her definition of what, faith is and what caregiving is and what self-care is, versus what Josefina has, and the intertwinedness of it all with the humor as well. I don't know. It's just this very fun, non-linear, beautiful thing like life.
Absolutely. And I was seeing some parallels in the story, just compared to my own life, and how just currently in a situation now with dealing with a family member that is sick, and then with myself being a performer. And so I really saw that connection just between me and Josefina. Josefina's her name.
Josefina, yeah.
And then just, feeling that guilt for me is like, okay, I get to go out and perform and do my job and continue to live life, whereas this person that I love is not able to do that anymore. So that's what really got me choked up, and just thinking about that dynamic between the sisters, you all being sisters, and the selflessness of just putting your stuff on hold to be there for a person that you love.
Yeah, there's a lot that Erlina did a really beautiful job of bringing in and topics and conversations. And I think with the two sisters being so different, there's the thing of like Josefina being a little more progressive in her ideology of what caretaking means, where Betsaida like bent over backwards and literally put her health in jeopardy taking care of her mother. And I think that just that alone is so I feel like anyone can relate to that, especially, those of us, women and Black and brown women who are just used to being caretakers. And sometimes we're not given a choice of being a caretaker. We're kind of thrown into that.
It's an expectation.
Exactly. And it's an expectation. And so the play, just from that perspective, kind of gives you two very different ideas and views of like what caretaking can look like, what it's looked like traditionally, how it affects us, what self-care is actually supposed to be. And then it, is a critique on our medical system in this country. It's, you expect to pay an insurance and you expect that insurance to be able to take care of you when something happens. Yeah. And that's literally like one of the very specific lines in the play. And when something does happen, you find out that there's all these loopholes, there's all these other things that you have to like jump through while trying to heal. And it really, I think, highlights the thing of this country that it's like, there's no way you can properly be set up, to take care of yourself if an accident happens.
Right.
And if you're out of a job because of this illness, it's like, then what?
Exactly.
And I think that those two themes are such a huge thing that I think anyone can relate, but especially those of us that come from very specific communities, like the ways in which the systems in this country impact us first.
Absolutely.
Right?
And Betsaida, there was even a moment where she was trying to decide whether or not she was going to go to the hospital because she'd gotten that bill and that was outrageous. And it was like, I know you need to go to the hospital. You need to go. But they were thinking about it because of the bill, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And there's so many people in this country that do not seek medical attention.
Yeah.
Will wait until the thing is so bad that you can't move.
Exactly.
Because it's the fear of, I don't know that I can afford this. And I've seen other people be, put out financially, but also, certain treatment. Like, I don't think they'll take care of me. And let's be real, like this country does not have the best history when it comes to caring for Black and brown folk. Like we've been tested on, we've been like, completely disregarded when it comes to like specific care. So that
and you have to have somebody, you have to advocate for yourself or have somebody that is going to stay on top of those doctors and nurses to make sure that you're getting the best care possible, because they do not care and they're so overwhelmed. I wouldn't say it's not that they don't care, it's that they're so overwhelmed.
And they have to work within the system
too.
It's such a, I don't know, it's like we're all being set up to fail.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Unfortunately.
It's so sad. So y'all have a scene y'all can do, just a quick little something to give us. And listen, we're going to give away 2 tickets today.
Can I qualify
for the no. I got you, girl. I got you.
We got you. Don't
you? So if you want to come see La Egoista, call 776-1350. And we'll have a promo code for you to sign up and get those tickets. And you can pick the day that you want to come. But this is a scene from La Egoista.
Can you believe they actually have people in Espanol? Highlights for kids. Hey, maybe you can find a toothbrush. I couldn't. The doctor didn't come in while I was gone getting coffee, did she?
No, she should be here soon.
She was supposed to be here 2 hours ago. Didn't they say that we're going to discharge you today?
She has a lot of patients. I'm hardly one of the sickest. Please don't be rude to her again.
I wasn't being rude, Bet. Her and that other doctor come in here and say something different every time. You were fine and then suddenly your intestine was leaking. I just want to know what's really going on. I don't know why you don't.
I know what's going on.
Oh, yeah? Well, would you care to enlighten me so I can get an estimate on when I can get back to my life?
Oh, that's all you care about, isn't it? Getting back to your life?
Yeah, Bet. Don't you want to get back to yours?
Yes, of course. I'm supposed to be at Crystal's baby shower right now. All those hours of planning, and I can't even be there.
Crystal. Little Crystal?
She's 22. She got married last year.
Yeesh.
Look, I wasn't taking great care of myself for a while when mommy was sick. You remember. I didn't have time to cook every day, so I started eating out more than I ever did. Things like Taco Bell and Wendy's and the food trucks around the hospital. And you know I never eat that stuff. My stomach started to hurt more than it ever did, so I would ignore it, and my intestine is now fighting back. So this is Hilba's way of letting me know that I haven't been properly caring for the body that he gave me. So I'm just going to do this TPN stuff in my arm for the next few weeks. I'll get the nutrition back up in my system. I'll clean up my diet, do a whole detox, and I'll be fine. And we can both get back to our separate lives.
Well, since you've got it all figured out, let me start looking for flights home.
Home? You call Los Angeles home? You've only been there 3 years.
Yeah, but is where I live and where my stuff is. That's home.
Now there's a Hallmark card. Home. Where my stuff is.
Yay! I love it. So good. If you would like tickets to come see La Egoista, call 776-1350. Were there some people that were just calling just now for that? Okay. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, I'm calling about the tickets that are being given away.
Yes, ma'am. Can you give me your...
I forgot what the name of it was.
It's called La Egoista. So hold on the line and I'm gonna give you the code for you to get your tickets, okay?
Okay.
All right, hold on the line. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So we are going to support. Please come out. That's February the 8th through the 19th.
Yep.
So that is is it Thursday, Friday, and
It's
Saturday?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You still have time to get tickets to see this show. It is so good. And again, I want to remind you that the language in the beginning, it's really in the beginning, a lot of that.
For the most part,
raunchiness.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's also
That might
like
be
very
jarring.
real. Like
Yeah, it's very real.
It's very real, and it's like it's family. Like it's about love too. Like it's about taking care of each other. Like the raunchiness is just to make it real.
Yes, exactly. That's why I was saying it's not raunchy for raunchy's sake. And some
Exactly,
people's films, it's like, are you just cussing just to be cussing?
Right.
Okay, so
I
So-
felt the underlying like family jabs without y'all even saying like I was
Yes.
like, yep, done that.
and
Done
I'll
that,
say
said that.
the chemistry you all have on stage is so good. Did y'all know each other before y'all started
We
working on
did,
this?
yeah.
Virtually, most
Virtually.
of it. Like, we never
Really?
met in person up until first day of rehearsal.
Shut
that's so
up.
true.
Well, you all, your chemistry on stage is so good. I thought y'all were sisters, so y'all pulling it off. But that
Perfect.
means
We're
you're
doing our
great
job.
actors. Great actors. Okay, before we get out of here, we're going to play something called Rapid Fire. Don't think too hard about the question. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Who is your hero? Kimberly?
My mom.
Same question.
My mom.
Same question.
Same.
Okay. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Ooh. I want to say Brazil, but mostly because I want to visit.
Man, Canada's looking real good right now.
Yes.
I just went to Hawaii this year.
Mhm.
And
You
I
wanna
was
live
trying to stay. I was gonna watch some whatever I had to do to stay, but I want to. Yeah, it was
I love
beautiful.
it. Last question. If you could be anybody in the world, who would you be?
Myself.
Toya says herself.
I'm gonna say myself too.
Yeah. Myself like a year from now, because I think she'll have her shit together by then.
I love it. You all, thank you so much for being here. We'll be back next week, same time, same station. Bye. Yay.
Thank
That
you
was
for
so
having
good.
us.
I enjoyed that so much. You do such a great job.
Thank you.
do.
I was thrown off in the beginning. I didn't have my notes then.
I have to
Oh,
mail
let me
her
get
those
off.
tickets
And get her
Oh.
name and leave her
So
name
is
at the
it one
website.
show a
At
day?
the,
Or,
Yeah.
okay, what
Yeah.
time is the show?
Through 7, right?
7 was either Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, Saturday, yeah.
No, seriously.